The FCS College Football Experience Week 11 reaction show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is offering new users $1,000 risk-free bet. Sign up today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time has last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Use the promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. And in honor of Veterans Day, everything in the merch store is 10% off with the promo code VETS, VETS. All proceeds from this sale will be donated to Mission 22, a nonprofit serving those who have served.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome to the FCS College Football Experience Week 11 reaction show. Hopefully watch it on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. The season is heating up. I'm excited to talk all about it as we had some crazy outcomes this past Saturday. Well, actually, this past Thursday, Saturday, and a Sunday game. Love that. Folks, if you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Yes. The road to Frisco. Not only that, not only the FCS is heating up. This week, D2, D3, NAIA playoffs starting to fire away. You gotta love November. You mix that in with the college basketball. Whoa. Yeah, I host the college basketball experience every single night of the season. Check out that and the regular college football experience. If you're into the FBS and that little 4-team invitational thing they call a playoff, we talk about that over there too. I am joined by my co-host. This guy is always out there and the golf. They call him the Gulf Coast Guru. He's always out there in that Gulf of Mexico on some type of power boat or cabana, some shit like that. He's normally got a cocktail in his hand with some type of fruit on the side of it. Because but he knows a thing or two. He knows a thing or two about a thing or two, and that is football. All right. Give it up for Mike Rose, aka the Gulf Coast Guru. How you doing, brother?
Brother, what I know is that while the FBS season is dwindling down and we know bowl season is absolute shit, the FCS season is absolutely heating up. We're going to go over some games today that made next week just absolute fire coming this Saturday. I mean, you're going to hear it again and again and again on our pick show on Thursday. This game is for the conference. This week's fucking huge. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. Thursday night, our pick show. This is just a reaction show, folks. Buckle up. But we're going to react, and we'll start reacting with the Friday game. It wasn't a Thursday game. It was a Friday game. My bad. What I did lock up the Grambling Tigers as they took care of Pine Bluff. They really kind of opened it up in the second half. In the first half, I could sense a sweat coming on. But Hugh Jackson hits for me as Grambling rolls on. Let's jump into Saturday's action. And unfortunately, my friend, the Jackrabbits are, should we just give them the national championship now? Because They're so fucking dominant. They go to the Ice House, win 34-0. This is supposed to be a letdown spot. What do you make of this one?
Man, I missed 3 locks this whole Saturday in the FCS from our pick show. I missed 3, and unfortunately, my Penguins, were one of them, and it was pretty much over from the jump. Like by halftime, I was like, okay, well, that one, chalk that one up. It ain't happening. Yeah, Jackrabbits looking pretty unstoppable. I don't know who's going to have to pull something out of their ass in the playoffs to take this team down because it's unbelievable.
I had this on one of the screens, and like by the end of the first quarter, this was me.
Well I don't get the rain man.
Channeling my Lou Holtz once again.
Well I don't get the rain man.
Shocking outcome. I mean, not that shocking the win. It was just the way it was done. 34-0. New Hampshire, Monmouth. New Hampshire gets that dub. We were on the Wildcats to get it done, to move to 5-5. They win in Monmouth. And then the unthinkable happened. Shout out to CJ Sullivan, host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, Duquesne graduate, who started to celebrate that Duquesne was already in the FCS playoffs. Not so fast, to quote the great Lee Corso there. Stonehill knocks off Duquesne 33-28, which now sets up Duquesne and Merrimack. Winner goes to the FCS playoffs. Unfucking believable. All Duquesne had to do was beat Stonehill. They would have clinched. The Skyhawks, everyone in Pittsburgh, including the Rooney family themselves, are saying this right now.
I want this pilot. It's a matter of national security.
Unfucking believable. What? We didn't see this coming. What's your take on this one?
No, I can't believe that happened. Yeah, to get beat at home against Stonehill. I mean, you got to assume maybe some sort of look ahead spot, something like that. Maybe Mr. Sullivan will have some better answers because I was Lou Holtz on that one, dude. Completely mind blown.
Yeah.
But it sets up a hell of a game coming up against Merrimack.
I mean, I think both of us were sitting there saying, wait, where's my clip here? Shit. I don't know. I can't find it right now. Soundboard has gotten too big, buddy. Soundboard is it's rather large these days.
They all know what he sounds like. He sounds like the GOAT of coaching, you know?
Yeah. 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 It's got like, I probably have over 100 sounds on this fucking thing. And you know, you're searching, but yeah, I don't know. Either way, if you are a Merrimack fan, you're saying,
this is the most beautiful sight these eyes have ever seen.
To quote the great movie Rudy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was a shocking game right there. I'm still dumbfounded by that. And then Merrimack took care of Central Connecticut State, of course, 35-24. The Warriors did come out to play. Buddy Pugh though.
Double lock, by the way.
Oh yeah, double lock. Yes.
On that one.
Cashing money left and right, folks. Hopefully you're subscribed and watch it on YouTube because, yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good call right there.
The fuck is that?
That's what I was looking for.
The fuck is that?
Buddy Pugh couldn't get it done against Morgan State. As the Bears win 20-17. Buddy Pugh, it's hard to say this. Only one more game left this weekend as he goes to Norfolk to take on Sparty. But if he wins that, it's going to be a losing season any which way you cut it. Hopefully he can just go out with the win. It's going to be interesting to watch. Yale Princeton was fucking insane. Ivy League games are always so fun to watch. I thought Princeton had this one. I then thought Yale had this one. I then thought Princeton had this one. And then Yale wins by 8 in overtime. Unfucking believable there. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if what did you take in this one?
I believe no, we picked it at 6, so I took Princeton, because that's what you do is you take the points in that kind of game in the Ivy League, especially. So we both, I believe, missed on this one, but I mean, it sets up the game.
Yeah,
for the conference.
Yeah, it's Harvard, Yale for the entire conference coming this week. Yes, fucking Dartmouth might still somewhat be a little bit, could tie, I guess, theoretically, but didn't Yale beat Dartmouth?
Yale beat Dartmouth.
So Yale's got this. If Yale beats, so it is for the conference. Yale, Harvard for the fucking conference. Unbelievable that Princeton blew that. Princeton was in first place, just like I feel like 10 days ago. What a game! The fucking Long Island Sharks got it done against the Vacuum Company. I mean, how about this one? This was a surprising, and I locked up the Vacuum Company, but the fucking Sharks dropped 49 points. Who are these Sharks out there in fucking Long Island, just winning games left and right, looking like the 72 Dolphins with Larry Zonka? Who are these fucking Sharks? 49-14. What'd you make of this one?
Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting. I mean, obviously, we both picked against the Sharks here. We both actually locked up Wagner, so that was a rare miss for us on the weekend. But these Sharks, I mean, who could have saw them finally coming out and play? And now they're sitting there like, just outside the playoff picture. If they'd have played a little bit of football a little bit earlier,
dude,
they have a chance.
They had a lot of close losses too. Like if they had just like looking at their schedule now, so they're tied with Merrimack, but once again, Merrimack Duquesne play for the conference. They did not show up against Merrimack. They lost 39-0. But had they just the Duquesne game was 28-28. Had they just won that game, they'd be sitting there playing for the championship. They had their opportunities. And the fucking Sharks, maybe next year for the Sharks. Holy Cross Army. I knew the first drive of the game when Holy Cross fumbled and Army basically scored wasn't a true defensive touchdown, but it pretty much was. I knew we were doomed to win on the money line. However, Holy Cross did cover for us. So let's go. Holy Cross is they're in a spot now where they need some help. They need some help because they lost to Lafayette. 4-1. Now, what could go wrong? The oldest rivalry in college football history, that we have. Lehigh Lafayette happening this weekend. Lafayette ready to punch that ticket, but don't underestimate Lehigh. They're 2-8, but they can fuck up their rival's season. And Holy Cross taking on Georgetown. That game could get a little tricky too. Something to watch there. I can't believe that Holy Cross might not be playing in the FCS playoffs, considering how good they've been recently. That is a shocker to me. Maybe they get in. We'll see. What'd you make of this one?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like Holy Cross was in Army territory basically the entire game and just couldn't muster anything until the fourth quarter. I mean, you got Matty Sluka out there. He played, threw for $150 and 2 TDs, ran for 171. So our boys showed out, but just couldn't get it done. Enough trips down in enemy territory. You got to score sometimes. So Holy Cross shit the bed here. I mean, they needed this one, and now they need some help from Lehigh and Lafayette. Like you said, that's the oldest rivalry in college football, and here we have it for a ticket to the FCS playoffs. So what more can you ask for there?
Exactly. Illinois State 47, Murray State 7. We don't got to talk about that one, but we can talk about Bob Morris.
Yeah, you got it,
dude. 4-6. They win 14-12 against Charleston. Bernard Clark's got life in this program. I mean, they're not going anywhere, but still, it's much better than 0-11. Norfolk State put it on Delaware State 44-21. Sparty, solid, looking solid. Brown Columbia, of course, the Ivy League goes to overtime, even with its worst team. Brown wins 21-14 in overtime. And as I was alluding to, Lafayette did take down Fordham. This was interesting because at half, Lafayette was up, I think, 7-3. And for a second, it looked like Fordham might win this game. I want to say late third, early fourth. But Lafayette made the plays to get the dub, and now they're 1 win away. Reese Poffenbarger and the Albany Great Danes win by 18 at Stony Brook. I mean, Albany, I think is if you had to say who's the second best team, and I think we'd probably all say Montana State, probably, right? But they got the Brawl of the Wild. I don't know how far that gap is between Montana State and Albany. For the second best team, I think it could be the Grizz. It could be Albany. It could be Delaware. It could be Idaho. It could be a slew of teams. Western Carolina. It could be Furman. It could be, there's a decent chunk of teams, and I think that's going to be the most compelling. We know South Dakota State looks like the one juggernaut that no one looks like right now. However, the number 2 spot, I think, is just wide open. What did you make of the Great Danes? And what do you make of the Great Danes potentially being in that mix for the second best team in the nation?
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't get to see it. That's one of the great things about March Madness for college basketball is, you get these guys, these one players that step up and they make all the difference for a team. You don't get that as much in football, but one position you can get it is the quarterback. And I think, we've obviously sang Big Papa Poff. We've sang his praises all year. One thing that's been surprising me week in and week out, it seems like it's getting better, is Albany's playing some defense. And I think that's key. I mean, if there's a team, if their defense could keep it a little close against some of these teams that you kind of think most people would count them out against, I think Big Papa Puff's the kind of quarterback that can actually shake things up and make some surprises in the playoffs. So it's something to watch, man. This team's been fun all year. I love this team.
Yes, agreed. All right, folks, before we get to the rest of the games, I want to tell you that the FCS College Football Experience is brought to you by Vets Merch. Yes, Mike Rose here, Gulf Coast Guru, is a veteran. All right, so pay your respects. We just had Veterans Day going on. Everything in the merch store is 10% off with the promo code VETS. And get this, all proceeds from the sale, all 100%, will be donated to Mission 22, a nonprofit serving those who have served. So support a great cause and score some sweet gear. Store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Promo code VETS, VETS. We're also brought to you by Bet365. Yes, Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook, trusted by over 88 million players worldwide. They got props, they got sides, they got totals, they got live betting. Yes, Bet365 has you covered, folks. Sign up today and choose from 2 bonus offers, either a $1,000 no sweat bet or bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Whew. Just head to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365, or use the sign up code or sign up link in our show bio, essentially. Problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long, whether it's NFL, NBA, NHL, college football, college basketball. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. And perfect example would be, I know here, let me quickly pull up good old Underdog Fantasy. This site is fantastic. I think a lot of the stuff they got going on, I'm not saying that because they're paying us. There's certain other ones where I'd be like, no. But perfect example. The action games I think already have started, but let me see if I can find something college football related here. Yeah, BC Pitt on Thursday, right? ACC battle. Thomas Castellanos, the quarterback of Boston College, over or under, or higher or lower, I should say, on 1.5 passing touchdowns. You parlay that with, whatever. Say you like Blake Corum to rush for over 94 yards against Maryland, or maybe you think Maryland's defense is legit. You're on the under. You can parlay props here. It's fantastic. So, or not parlay, but stack props essentially. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. Folks. So watch along, make picks, and maybe make a little extra cash on Underdog's mobile app or website, UnderdogFantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. All right, we are back on the college football experience, the FCS College Football Experience, as a matter of fact. And how about this one? Morehead State 47, Davidson 17.
The fuck is that?
I mean, that's what I was thinking.
The fuck is that?
When I saw that score, because you know what this might do. Oh man. I mean, it makes the very final, week very important in the Pioneer League, because you have kind of a 3-team race, but St. Thomas is not eligible. So it looks like one team is probably going to get in there, but it's possible that another could, but I think it seems like it's going to be the Drake Bulldogs now. How did Davidson blow it at Morehead State, who was just 3-6 before that game? Now they're 4-6. What'd you make of this one, Mike?
Yeah, Davidson. We haven't seen this since the first couple weeks with them, when they came out and they just started the season flat, and then they caught fire and they were putting up a ton of points, and all of a sudden come out here, lay a clunker at the absolute worst time. But we've been talking about it. Their schedule just tailed off and got so soft towards the end, as I think they just kind of fell asleep at the wheel for the end. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm not really sure how this conference will do the tiebreaker. I know, everyone's kind of different. So Drake, Davidson don't play head to head. Drake has a game on the road against Butler, which we'll talk about it on the pick show, but that's going to be an interesting one. So I don't know what happens from here in this conference.
You know what could be interesting here? Let's say Drake loses that game to Butler. I wonder if it comes down to scoring advantage. In that case, right now I'm seeing Drake has a 84-point advantage, whereas Davidson has a 80-point advantage. Ooh. So it could come down to, if Drake loses, how many points do they lose by? How many points do they put up? Going to be fascinating to watch. Stetson lost at Valpo. That cold weather, you were right. Overtime game. Valpo needed that to go to 3-7 and kind of dress up their season a little bit. Lehigh lost to Colgate. Colgate wins by 16. And then I thought this was another shocker here.
The fuck is that?
Bethune-Cookman 31, Alabama A&M 14. Woo! What is happening dude? Bethune-Cookman, they're improving week by week. What'd you make of this one?
Yeah, same exact thing. It's why I picked Bethune to cover. I honestly did not think they were going to win, but I saw an Alabama A&M team that I remember betting -10 against Arkansas Pine Bluff, who probably is one of the top 5 worst teams in all of FCS football, and they struggled and they didn't cover for me, which I took personally, of course. But this Bethune team, they just keep getting better every week, like you said, and this Alabama A&M team came out flat and got served. So I like to see it. I thought this Cookman team, I thought they were going to be in a lot of trouble after what went down with Ed Reed. A lot of players walked, but they seem to have gotten it kind of righted. So interesting and good win.
Yeah, moving forward. William and Mary 31, Hampton 10. Folks, don't get if you look at the CAA standings, you might get a headache, because so right now, heading into the final week, Albany 6-1 in conference, Delaware 6-1 in conference, Villanova 6-1 in conference, Richmond 6-1 in conference, Elon 5-2, 4-3 Rhode Island, 4-3 William and Mary. And here's what's crazy. We got what? Delaware plays Nova. We got to get a little chaos here. By the way, Rhode Island did beat A&T also 31-24. Villanova also beat Towson 33-10. Can you make any sense of this? And how many teams? I mean, if you're Elon sitting there at 5-2, you're overall 5-5. It's looking like you're on the outside of this. Maybe you go 6-5, but I don't know. It seems like, how many teams do you think are going to get in from the CAA?
I mean, I think we're looking, somewhere in the 4 to 5 range, if I had to guess. This is a tough one. I think Elon, with their total overall record, I think that might be something that's looked at and talked about. And William and Mary, I know, has a big game coming up against Richmond, so I think a lot of that for William and Mary is going to be decided on what happens, I believe, in a home game in their final game of the season. A little in-state battle there, very interesting. So I think looking at the top, I think Albany, Delaware, Villanova, I think you're pretty locked in. Richmond looking real good. From there, I don't know how many other teams. I think maybe William and Mary could sneak in. Other than that, I'm not too confident. I don't think I would pick many of these other teams to make it in, honestly, based off of what I've seen.
Yeah. Well, once you get the auto bids out of the way, you know what I mean? Once again, the Ivy doesn't do it. And then, the SWAC and MEAC celebrate, they go to the Celebration Bowl. But like, then you're talking, okay, who's going to punch the auto bid? Let's say it's Albany in the CAA, right? So that's one. You jump down to the SoCon. Furman has pretty much solidified that. Furman's 2. You know what I mean? If the winner of the Brawl of the Wild will be 3. South Dakota State 4. UAC, whoever comes out of that, I think that still comes down to this weekend, would be 5. The Big South OVC would be 6. Who am I forgetting? I forget. Southland. The Southland Conference would be 7. So 2014 playoff, you're going to have those 7. Am I forgetting one conference? Pioneer League, 8. Patriot League, 9. So you got nine auto bids there. And then what? You got 15 spots. 15 spots. And you look at a team, the loser of the Brawl of the Wild, probably getting in. I would like to think they'd probably put North Dakota State in. We'll talk about them in a second. You would think that Idaho might have a spot in here. You would think Sac State might have a spot in here. You would think, some of these teams, it's going to be hard to decide, hey, who are the 15 best other teams deserving of getting in? It's got to be fascinating to watch. Dayton beat the piss out of Marist. Dayton needed that one, man. Nice win for the Flyers. Penn Harvard was absolutely fucking insane, man. And once again, Penn was that close, man. Imagine if Harvard loses that game, then you really have, this was a triple overtime game, folks. Had this on the TV here at the studio. 25-23. Unbelievable. Georgetown, my Hoyas went into Bucknell and got it done. Took overtime, but we dropped a 50 burger on the Bison. And Western Carolina, whoa, what happened there? They finally woke up. 58-7 against the Buccaneers of ETSU. Also, Delaware lit up Campbell 45-7. One of the games I did get eyes on for the entire game was North Dakota, South Dakota. The game was fantastic. South Dakota 14, North Dakota 10. Really good game. Eastern Illinois continues to impress as they move to 7-3. Do you think Eastern Illinois could find themselves in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, that's a question Mr. Ben Ellison asked in our chat there. I was curious to see what your thoughts were when we got to that one. I look at their resume and I don't see much jumping out. I mean, the Illinois State win, pretty good. You played an FCS or an FBS in Bowling Green, you lost. You played UT Martin, close game, but they lost. They lost to what was the other one? Southeast SEMO. So, I kind of look at it, and when I see the stronger teams on their resume, it looks like they drop games. I think it's a great season, great turnaround for Eastern Illinois. I hope the track keeps going. I hope Pierce Hawley has another year eligibility, comes back, but I don't think this is the year that you could put them in. Not when you have the Big Sky, the CAA, and the Missouri Valley with just so many teams that are going to get in. It's tough to crowbar another team in, especially with a resume that's kind of weaker.
Yeah, I'm sitting here right now trying to make sense out of those 15 other spots, right? And I'm thinking, okay, well, let's say Albany and let's say the Grizz win at home, right? If the Grizz win at home, you're then looking at what I feel like how many from the Big Sky would get in? I think Sac State's probably in.
I mean, you got to think both teams for all the Wild are in too,
Definitely. No, the winner clinches. I'm just saying, let's give that benefit to Montana because they're at home, even though Montana State's, had the history there. You basically have a lot of teams fighting for fighting for those extra 14 spots. And I mean, look, like I said, if Montana was to win and Albany win the CAA, you would then have Montana State, North Dakota State, South Dakota, North Dakota, Delaware, Idaho, Sac State, Northern Iowa, Richmond, Elon, Villanova, all battling. And where would some of the other Youngstown? I think that's still a team you'd have to throw in the mix, even though they just got embarrassed. Do you put a Holy Cross in consideration? I don't know. Do you put I highly doubt William and Mary or Rhode Island probably at that point. But how about Western Carolina? I mean, Western Carolina's one, and Chattanooga,
even Mercer.
Yeah,
SoCon's rolling 4 deep of teams eligible that are good. So
well, and to do what I mean, would they put the would the UAC potentially have 2 teams in?
Man, they really could. I mean, you gotta have the winner of the Austin Peay and Central Arkansas game, and then I find it hard to not put one of those teams in for the other spot, especially. I mean, it's sad to say, but brand name kind of comes into that, and I feel like both those teams carry enough clout at the FCS level that. I think you probably will get 2 out of that conference, especially when you got teams in there like Tarleton and other teams. I mean, that's been a competitive conference that's shown out this year. So I think definitely they can get 2.
Yeah, I just think Eastern EIU, as much as I like them, and that's why honestly, I think it should be 32 teams. I really do. Mm-hmm. I think every form of college football should be 32 team playoff. I know people disagree, but. Indiana State 27, Western Illinois 6. Sycamores win there. Cornell gets Jamison Wang. Disappointing year as fucking Dartmouth wins 30-14. Furman puts it on VMI. VMI did not cover. Wofford beat the Citadel 11-3. Baseball score. First win of the season for Sean Watson. Shout out to that. Utah Tech loses to Austin Peay. Austin Peay wins by 13. Richmond takes down Elon by 14, and it wasn't even that close. I feel like they dressed it up a little bit. Drake beats Presbyterian 16-14. The sweat was intense for those Drake Bulldogs, but they got it done. The Bryant Bulldogs put it on Lindenwood. I can't believe Jay Scott. I'm sorry, but we got talked into a lemon there. Gardner Webb is playing. See, I think Gardner Webb should be in, man. Gardner Webb to me is playing really high level football right now. 35-0 against GBO Farms, the Tennessee Tech squad. UT Martin stuck it to SEMO, Southeast Missouri State. Kennesaw beat the hell out of Lynchburg, Virginia. Alabama State 20, Mississippi Valley State 3. Not at all surprised by that one. Northern Arizona 28, Northern Colorado 7. Any of those stand out to you?
Well, for one, Elon and Richmond stands out because that was a lock battle of ours. So whenever you want to address that shot,
that's true.
Your leisure.
That's
your
true.
Leisure.
That is true.
The other one would be a key in on that Gardner Webb. I mean, there you go.
Little Basil Hayden.
Key in on that Gardner Webb. UT Martin right now has one more game played than them, but Gardner Webb has a home game against Charleston Southern this week. They win that, they're sitting atop because they have the tiebreaker over UT Martin, beat them head to head. So I think we should see Gardner Webb, and I'm hoping we see UT Martin as well. Yeah, let's do that.
Folks, youtube.com/the college experience. Shots on air here. Here we go.
This is what you come to the college football experience for, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo, that Basil Hayden. Woo.
There we go. Man of his word. Man of honor.
There we go. All right. A little shot bet. You got to do it, folks. All right, folks. I want to talk about a couple other big time outcomes. But before we do that, I want to tell you also that the FCS College Football Experience is brought to you by the Game Time app. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be that stressful. Maybe you're trying to go to the Brawl of the Wild and it's tough to get a ticket. Check out the Game Time app, folks, because it's a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater that is near you. With killer deals on last minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you'll be having at that very event. So what are you doing, folks? Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Once again, create an account, Redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, we are back. There was a shocker in good old Ogden, Utah. Weber State has been a hard team. Remember they beat Northern Iowa at the UNI Dome earlier this year. That filthy place. They beat Idaho 31-29. They get it done. Huge win for Weber State, even though they're not going anywhere this year. But that's a big win right there. What'd you make of that one?
Yeah, that one was really surprising. I don't really know the reason. You know, it's not like a look ahead spot. I mean, I know rivalry game, but it's not like Idaho's looking ahead to Idaho State. So that was one that really, out of all of them on the day, honestly, there was some shocking results, but that one threw me for the biggest loop. It was the one I didn't see coming. There's really no call for it. Luckily, I don't think that's going to do anything to Idaho as far as making the playoffs. I still think they're going to get there pretty handily, no problem, but definitely a shocking result.
Yeah. Eastern Washington got rolled by Montana State 57-14. A royal ass whooping by the Bobcats there. Mercer avoided the upset from Sanford. I thought Sanford might be able to pull the upset. They avoid it 28-21, get the dub. Bubba McDowell and Prairie View take down Southern 27-21. And then Tarleton, Abilene, living up to the rivalry here, 31-30. Tarleton gets the win.
Mm-hmm.
Tarleton just applied, I believe, to try to get to the FCS playoffs. You know, they're a recent come up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they need some help, but they are 8-3.
Yeah, their season's in the books, 8-3, man.
Yeah,
and, some decent wins.
Yeah, they're a program. Watch out, heading in the right trajectory.
Hey, you know something real quick. Not to jump in, but something we kind of shit on Bubba McDowell a little bit, and I just caught in the SWAC West. They're sitting there at 5-2 in the SWAC, right there with Alcorn. So while it seemed like kind of maybe a disappointing season, sneakily they're there. They're in the picture. So I thought that was surprising to see that. I didn't notice that.
I mean, they were my preseason pick, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have had, and they were on top of Southern, but they got work to do. We'll see. How about this one? Missouri State beats the piss out of Northern Iowa.
Another one I didn't see coming.
Unbelievable. This next one. Howard 50, North Carolina Central 20.
The fuck is that?
I mean, what? Howard is the ultimate mystery team this year. They almost beat Northwestern. They almost beat Eastern Michigan. They lose to some shitty teams, but damn, when they're playing ball, they're playing ball. What'd you make of that one?
Yeah, that one. I mean, I did take Howard with the points. I thought they were going to make this one a close game, but I did not think they were going to win it. And what worries me is we might get robbed of an awesome celebration bowl that should be between FAMU and NC Central. Now we got to see where it plays out. Morgan State plays Howard this week, and I think they might be a little bit of a live dog. So we'll see what happens. MEAC heating up, getting interesting.
Yeah, definitely. North Dakota State responded against the Salukis. The Salukis, I feel like the same situation happened last year. You started out red hot.
Mm-hmm. Down
the stretch, complete ass. Same thing happened, it seems like, this year. They might need some help to get in, man. They might need some serious help to get in. Lamar loses to Nichols. Big week for Nichols. They beat LSU in basketball at LSU, and then big time win there in the Southland.
And I think that clinches for them as well.
Yeah,
they have the tiebreaker over IDub.
Boom. The Colonels are going to the FCS playoffs. How about St. Thomas heading down to San Diego, California, getting that dub? The Tommies, they're still not eligible, but something to watch in the future. SELA put it on Texas A&M Commerce, and then Southern Utah put it on Stephen F. Austin. I'm telling you, Southern Utah is good, man. They're a good team. I feel like. Do you think the UAC should get multiple bids in? Like how many bids you think the UAC should get in?
Man, if you put 3 from the UAC in the playoff, I wouldn't bat an eye. Honestly, I would think they were deserving. I mean, you're talking about this Southern Utah team, which is a team we were very high on. They lost to an FBS Arizona State by 3 points to start the season. They've had a ton of close games. I mean, a 2-point loss to UC Davis, 2-point loss to Central Arkansas, 3-point loss to Austin Peay. So, I mean, this team in particular is one that I think, could be there. They had a hell of a non-con, tough schedule this year, and they're just in so many games. But I think the UAC is definitely unheralded conference. It's pretty damn tough.
Yeah, I think it's up and coming too. Sac State took down Cal Poly, but my cover hit. It's way too many points. Sac State gets that dub though, as they're looking like they could still do some damage, maybe. And then the game of the day. Did you see the ending in Central Arkansas, Eastern Kentucky?
Yes, my boys, another rabbit out the hat.
Oh my God. A Hail Mary win for Central Arkansas on that crazy turf. It's 27-24 win against EKU. EKU's had bad luck this year, man. EKU's been in a lot of games where they end up losing. Unfucking believable.
Other side of the coin too, this Central Arkansas team, you want to talk about a team of destiny. I mean, you had that Hail Mary. Remember the SEMO game? They scored 32 points to come back and beat them in the fourth. I mean, this team's got a horseshoe up the ass, and I like their chances.
100%. Northwestern State Incarnate Word was canceled. That was because of the shooting, I believe. They've punted on their whole season. But UC Davis, Hawkins Bowl, UC Davis, Dan, student can't fuck with the teacher. All right. And Dan Hawkins, dad, scores the first Hawkins family win in the Hawkins Bowl as they take down Idaho State 21-14. Idaho State did get the cover, so did them a favor. Florida A&M beat the piss out of Lincoln, California 28-0. McNeese lost to Houston Christian 35-24. That is a tough one there. Montana went on the road to Portland, Oregon, and got a win by 24 on the road. Montana's been coming along as the season's prolonged. And that Sunday, we also had Texas Southern beat the piss out of Alcorn State 44-10. Shout out to College Football Campus Tour, aka Michael Barker, who was there at that game. Game ball time, buddy.
My favorite.
The first game ball. For me, it's got to be Central Arkansas. You keep your FCS playoff chances alive on a Hail Mary, like a 55-yard Hail Mary, whatever it was. Unfucking believable. That's my first game ball. You?
All right, my boys. I like it. That's one of my teams. So I'm all about that. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna stay in the UAC though. I'm gonna give one to Tarleton. Hell of a year coming up, recently to the FCS. And I keep saying it. I think this is a team that's invested in football and has FBS aspirations. I think they can do it. This is how you do it. You put yourself on the map. Another big win for Tarleton. End the year 8-3. I love it.
Game ball to Weber State. I know it's not the type of year you wanted. 5-5, still got a game left. You can end the season 6-5, winning season. Your resume is not that bad. Northern Iowa win at Northern Iowa, and then you take down the Vandals. I know Ron's in the chat talking about Idaho started 3 freshmen on the O-line. They're injured. I don't care. It's still a huge win for Weber in what looked like a down year. So give me Weber State game ball. Where are you going here?
So Richmond, the Spiders. I mean, if they're gonna win me a little personal bet with the great pick Dundee himself, I'm gonna give him a game ball. Let's go.
There we go.
Coolest logos in all of freaking college football altogether. So I love this team. I can't wait to see what they do. I mean, they've only gotten better as the season went on, and I like that.
Yeah, 100%. I'll take you to rivalry game. North Dakota at South Dakota. It looked like for a minute there that Tommy Schuster in North Dakota might get that dub. not so fast as South Dakota battles back in the second half, gets that 14-10 win. And that's a huge game because I think the loser essentially, especially North Dakota, now they're kind of in a weird spot, man. So South Dakota, my final game ball is they look like a lock now for the FCS playoffs. What's your final game ball, buddy?
I like that one. I like the Coyotes all year. I'm digging that one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it to Western Carolina, my final game ball. You went out on a limb. You took ETSU plus the points. You got kicked off the moonshine mailing list. Come on. We got to give it to Western Carolina. Playoff hopes still slim, but alive. Let's go.
Very, very, very true. All right, folks. Well, we'll be back Thursday, but I mean, do I need to hit on how key this week is? Let me just load this up real quick. We know we have the Brawl of the Wild, which is fantastic, right? How about Harvard Yale, the game for the conference, everything they play for, essentially, this Saturday morning. You also have Lafayette Lehigh, implications on the playoffs. I mean, Eastern Illinois is taking on Robert Morris. You go 8-3. I don't think you're going to get in, but hell, college football has been corrupt for over 140 fucking years. Maybe you got a guy in the committee room that's an EIU grad. Then you look elsewhere at some of the other ones. Duquesne Merrimack, awesome game for the conference. The winner is going to the FCS playoffs. Western Carolina, can they finish off, strong against VMI? Can they make a statement against the Keydets in Lexington, Virginia? Drake and Butler, huge implications here as far as if Drake wins, they're going to be in the FCS playoffs. If they lose, then who knows how it shakes out. All important there. Even Georgetown Holy Cross has implications considering the Lafayette Lehigh game, the oldest rivalry in college football history, with major implications this year. Then you jump down, and even Semo Bryant, I think, has a little bit of implications. Villanova, Delaware, huge game in the CAA. Rhode Island, Towson. Can Rhode Island, finagle their way? I don't think so, but we'll see. Richmond, William and Mary, you alluded to how big of a game that was. Then you jump down, Monmouth, Albany. Can Albany continue to stay looking good? Just so many big time games. I know South Dakota's at Western Illinois. You want to talk about a loss that could really hurt your resume. There's just so many big time games. Stephen F. Austin, Eastern Kentucky. That one's actually not as big. I think both are out. If I had to bet, EKU maybe, but yeah. I mean, you look at some of these other big time matchups. There's just a ton. There's a ton going on this weekend. I'm not even hitting on all of them. North Dakota State, Northern Iowa,
Morgan and Howard, even.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. We're gonna be talking about them all, folks. Thursday, about 4:00 Pacific. Hopefully, if all goes well, maybe 4:30. Folks, subscribe to the FCS College Football Experience. Type in sg.pn/FCS. We're available wherever you listen to podcasts at. Also, youtube.com/the college experience. You can watch the show live twice a week as the road to Frisco just heating up and the Celebration Bowl. Give Mike a follow on Twitter at GCG_wins. I even throw that up there for the people right there. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD, the College Football Experience. The FCS College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Subscribe, tell a friend. And the YouTube page is youtube.com/the college experience. That's the hub for all of our shows. I host the FBS show too. The FBS College Football Experience, as well as the College Basketball Experience. Every single night of the college basketball season, I'm here. I'll be back at 9:00 Pacific tonight. And the College Baseball Experience with Noah Beanick goes into full swing come February. We also have the Big 12 Experience. All of those podcasts are coming out via the YouTube channel. They're all separate podcasts. Subscribe to all of them. Please, if you can, hop on over to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. The FCS College Football Experience needs it. Sponsors always look at that stuff. It takes 2 minutes out of your day, folks. What are you doing? The SGPN app is free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And maybe you are, you're sweating out your team, getting a chance to the playoffs. Come in the Discord and talk to us about it. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord. Until next time, folks, this is the FCS College Football Experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Run, shoot.